In John 14:12, Jesus promised power for praying and working. He promised that each believer would be able to do what he did and even greater works upon one condition. And here it is: he that believeth on me. He that believeth on me. Oh, you say, I do believe, but I do not see the works of Christ. Well, do you believe that the works of Christ will follow you? If you don't, then they won't follow. If you believe only for forgiveness of sins, or for some other detail of answered prayer, then you'll get that and that only. You must believe that the very works of Jesus Christ will follow you before they will. The secret of it, as stated here, is, he that believeth on me. We can argue that this is not for us today and that there must be some mistake about such a broad promise, but the fact is that what he said still faces us, and we dare not make him a liar and expect to see him in peace. This passage is plain. It means just what it says. There can be no misunderstanding. It will pay us to believe it mentally, whether we want the experience of it or not. Men exercise themselves in 1,000 ways, but such excuses will last only in this life, and they serve a poor cause here and a less cause in the life to come. They will not stand in the day of judgment. So let us always exercise ourselves in those matters that will stand in eternity and not pass away with the passing conditions of life. In many other places, Jesus Christ gave believers the full authority to ask in his name, and gave them full power of attorney to use his name to get everything that they want in life. In John 14 and 15, he definitely said, in my name, whatsoever ye shall ask in my name, that will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. In the 16th verse of the 15th chapter of John, said, you have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and ordained you, that you should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, and that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it you. The same story is repeated in the 16th chapter of John, verses 23 to 26. He said again, in that day ye shall not ask me anything, but ye shall ask the Father in my name, that is, by my authority. You use my name like I use God's name while here. In Mark 16 to 20, he said, these signs shall follow them that believe. Here he repeats again this little statement, in my name, in my name. They shall cast out devils, they shall speak with new tongues, they shall take up serpents. If they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover. We'll go into the doctrine of Christians' power of attorney in a later study. But all we want you to see in this lesson is the absolute certainty of answered prayer for anything and everything you want in life. There are no impossibilities with God or with the believer who will dare believe God. For Mark 9:23 tells us, if thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. If you can do it, he said, then I will do my part. You'll do your part, I'll do my part. If you'll believe, I will answer. All things are possible to him that believeth. In Mark 11:22 to 24, he said, have faith in God, for verily I say unto you, whosoever shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. In Matthew 17:20, he repeated about those same words and said this, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. In Matthew 21 and 22, he said, all things ye shall ask in prayer believing, ye shall receive. So when we read such broad statements in the Bible. Let's not question them. Let's not begin to doubt them and say, well, that's too great for me to comprehend. That promise is too broad for me to get a hold of. I cannot conceive of the possibility of all that. The thing for you to do is to say, thank you, Lord. The promise is simply stated. I'll accept the challenge. I will believe, and let it go at that, and begin to ask in faith, nothing wavering. Possibilities in prayer are great and many, and we should awake to attain the blessings of the gospel. The world is dying for just such a program. God is going to hold modern believers accountable for their unbelief and for their constant doubting and their constant denial of the program of the church for modern believers. He will judge every preacher and every teacher and the least person who claims to believe the gospel for not boldly laying aside the unbelief, and for not striving to attain to the faith once delivered to the saints. That's what we're advised to do in Jude 3. It's a definite commandment there, and we must not break that commandment any more than we break any other. The certainty of answered prayer is also expressed in the Old Testament, and here are just a few statements which prove that. You can get anything from God that you ask, and that prayer, answered prayer, is just as certain as we are in existence. The eyes of the Lord are upon the righteous, and his ears are open unto their cry. The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth, and delivereth him out of all their troubles. Psalm 34, 15 and 17. Here's another statement. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Commit thy way unto the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. Psalm 37, 4 to 5. And here's still another. Psalm 91, 15. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. Then we're told in the 84th Psalm, the 11th verse, that no good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly. Aren't those statements on the certainty of answered prayer? So let it be settled once and forever that answered prayer is a doctrine of the Bible, and the realities of answered prayer are just as certain as the realities of anything in life. Now then, just a thought concerning the scientific proof of answered prayer. We all talk so much about science. What science has discovered, what science says about this and that and the other thing. Well, did you know that prayer and its answer can be scientifically tested as any other thing can be? We do not mean to say that God condescends to every whim of unbelieving man, or that he meets every test imposed by mere curiosity or skepticism. Jesus went about answering prayer and doing all kinds of miracles in the moral, spiritual, material, and physical realms. But when the unbelieving Jews sought a sign from heaven, he did not satisfy their unbelief. He just said, no sign shall be given this generation but the sign of the prophet Jonas. As Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the whale, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. Some men of unbelief lay down certain laws as to answered prayer, or what they would require in order for a prayer to be answered. Men have dared God to strike them dead, or some foolish other thing, thinking that the Almighty would not dare to do so, and if he did not, they have gone off boasting that there is no God. God has answered tests in the material realm that men have put to him. In the case of Elijah, God answered when a contest was taking place between him and the prophets of false gods. You read 1 Kings 18, and you'll find that contest listed. In Egypt, God wanted to do a great work and to manifest his power and make it known, so that all the Egyptians should get to know that he, the God of Israel, was the true and the living God. So God sent plague upon plague, things which the magicians of Egypt, through the power of the devil, could not bring about. God answered the sign Gideon asked for. He said, let the dew be on the bottom of the fleece, and then the next time let the dew be on the top of the fleece. Both were answered. He answered Hezekiah by a sign and said that the sun dial would go 10 degrees backward. So God even turned the clock of the heavens back 10 degrees to prove to a man that he would answer prayer. He rebuked Ahaz for not asking a sign, either in the depth or in the height above, in Isaiah 7:10-13. Jesus Christ promised that men could remove mountains, as he had cursed a fig tree and as he did other signs before men. He said, you can say unto this mountain, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he saith shall come to pass. He shall have whatsoever he saith. This, however, was never done to satisfy mere unbelief and curiosity. It can be done only in sincerity and faith. When we have multiplied thousands of definite and concrete answers to prayer on record, both in the Bible and in all history, we do not have to oblige God to a mere sign to satisfy unbelieving man. Proof of answered prayer fills many pages of many books in history. And this proof is sufficient to convince an honest inquirer. The Lord heard Abraham and healed a whole nation. He heard Eliezer and gave Isaac a wife. He heard Isaac and children were born. He heard Moses and Israel was spared. In fact, everyone in the nation of Israel was healed. He heard the judges and the prophets and the leaders of Israel and early Christian leaders times without number, as you can find listed in the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. So we can definitely say that God has met the inquiries of men time and again.